Good evening and welcome.
Yeah, look, we're in two different places today because Grayden said he's not feeling great, and we wanted him to recover without giving it to the mayor.
Yeah.
No, we love him, not for any other reason, right? So welcome to everybody. Thank you for joining us here on Mayor's Update today. And so much going on in our community. We've got, a list. And again, I'm sorry if you're looking for me to tell you where a certain bazaar is, all right? But the list is just too extensive for us to try and do. We're going to tell you about big events. We're going to tell you about great music events and other things that are happening. But if you have a specific bazaar or church function like that, please try and get it on St. Thomas Happenings or some other place that we can. You can leave a note for us. Well, if people are reading our comments, they can certainly read your comments too. So let's try it that way, I think, because Grayden, this last week, you and I saw each other about 10 times at different things, of course.
I'm not surprised I'm sick. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's why you're sick, because you're out in the cold and you were out doing right. So the Golden Hammer Awards last Thursday night, recognition of our great building and renovation group. Angela DeVries and that group put on quite a great gala to recognize those builders that have been doing great things in our community. They really do a lot of judging on housing and different things. It's incredible to see. So, and it was great fun to go there. It was a great night out, and to really get to see the people who build the great homes, who do great renovations in our community, who are great electricians and plumbers and all the rest. It was a lot of fun to be out last Thursday night.
And they did an incredible raffle at the end for 4 Leafs tickets, as well as
a great live auction. Yeah, it was fantastic.
There's a whole new element to the show.
Yeah, no, it was, and they're trying to help a lot with. Quick, give me the name of the organization.
Is it Fresh Start? The
Fresh
housing
Start,
initiative?
it is, right? And the new building they're doing, a 12-unit building for single parents, basically, and to provide housing from an affordable point of view that way. And so the home builders have gotten behind it significantly and are helping, of course, build it, but also trying to raise money. And surprisingly, a pile of money was raised last Thursday night. So congratulations to you, the builders, the renovators, the service people in our community. You make us proud. You make us happy to be from St. Thomas.
Yeah,
I should say St. Thomas Elgin home builders.
St. Thomas Elgin,
because they are not all from St. Thomas, but they all help us. Right? It's great.
Yep. So that was an incredible evening. But before that, talk about what was happening the morning of. That's all the talk of the town.
Yeah, out at the corner of Ron McNeil and Yarmouth Center Road in the Yarmouth Yards group, we launched another great new international business that's decided to come to St. Thomas, that has chosen St. Thomas when they could be anywhere in the world. This one's from Norway.
Yeah.
So that may explain to some of you why the mayor spent time in Norway last year, right? But it was secret at the time. And so Vianode makes synthetic graphite, which is an integral part of the battery systems, but also nuclear energy and some of our defense contracts. And so they're coming here with the largest plant they've ever had, and a significantly large plant, also on Yarmouth Yards. Number of jobs coming with it, number of great $3.2 billion worth of expenditure to build this factory. So welcome to St. Thomas Vianode. We'll be looking for have a lot of fun with our Norway friends now too. Hey Grayden, we did Oktoberfest because PowerCo came. What
we should have
they're in Norway we have to find. Right?
There's different Viking festivals. Maybe we could have some like dragon boat racing if they do that. But I think like some kind of a Viking themed festival could be pretty cool.
Or reindeer. No.
Yes, sleighs and reindeer.
Right.
Absolutely. But
the premier came to town, of course, and it was his birthday. But Premier Ford came, and Minister Fideli and and we talked a lot. Minister Flack was there, of course, too, and we talked.
Loves our town.
Thomas has become kind of the place to be.
Right? Yeah. And then he was working off of your slogan in terms of like, he was like, he almost got it.
He likes to make fun of me for saying yes, but if I can say yes to more billion-dollar organizations coming to our community and bringing jobs here, I'm going to say yes. And certainly, it's been a mix of comments, most of them very congratulatory about us, what we've done. But there'll always be, as I've said before, some people will find something wrong with a sunny day. But yes.
And speaking of sunny days,
well,
it was the sunniest, most beautiful day we've had in the past 2 weeks.
It was gorgeous out there. And I mean, I wore my overcoat, but I could have gone without it. It was that nice of a day out there.
And it was a full press conference.
Hey, what happened? What happened Saturday?
Saturday was the Santa Claus parade and the Christmas winter market.
And the winter market. The Christmas market. No, the winter market.
It was the winter market.
Winter markets.
Yeah.
I would suggest it was one of the busiest, best attended Santa Claus parades I've seen. It was packed both sides of the street. And talking to Will yesterday, on my way back to the fire hall from the parade, you should have seen all the cars parked at the Railway Museum. I mean, because he said, this is a great place to come park and then come see the Christmas trees before, come see the Christmas trees after. But 500 cars at least in that back parking lot on the railway lands. So just excellent to see the people of St. Thomas really come out to appreciate something like 86, I believe, entries into the parade. Great music, great bands, a Charlie Brown theme. I wore my Charlie Brown sweater, and a Peanuts theme. Right. Yes. And so it was really a lot of fun. I'm quite pleased that we can put on a night parade that looks that beautiful.
Absolutely. And it really big shout out, like you said, to the Optimist Club of St. Thomas for organizing all of that, because the amount of work they put in is phenomenal.
That I bet today, it's the Tuesday following the Santa Claus parade, they started earnestly planning next year's parade.
I believe they do.
Does such a great job of making sure that St. Thomas, not only the Santa Claus parade, because they're involved in so many other things we do, Canada Day, Nostalgia Nights, and so many other things we do in our community. But thank you, Optimist, for the parade. It is a special hour or two in the evening, and you should see the smile on kids' face.
And a special shout out to Councillor Earl Taylor as well.
Yes,
he's a big part of organizing all of that stuff.
Yep, very much so. And we've been talking about him a lot, but he's got a real downtown presence. And we can put an event like that. Well, Grayden, if we go back to Oktoberfest, we go back even into July to Nostalgia Nights. Yep. This is 4 or 5 times this year we've put thousands of people into the downtown. It may be for a special event, whether it's Light Up Talbot or for Oktoberfest or for the Santa Claus parade. But it's amazing every time we do it, how many people say to me, I didn't know we had a bookstore. I didn't know we had this. I didn't know we had this downtown. When did the snack shop come? Right?
Yep.
Right? And so it's quite unique for us to get people for a different reason to come downtown, see downtown St. Thomas, and see all of the merchants that they're missing because they don't come down often enough just to see what there is. And we're pushing it. I know you and I sit on the DDB, and we talk a lot about how do we tell the people in the suburbs part of St. Thomas about the great deals and great shopping and shopping local in downtown. We'll keep screaming it from the rooftops. We'll do our best, right? So,
absolutely. I wanted to mention too, there's the sock hop with a twist that's coming up at the senior center.
I think that my favorite Councillor Rose Gibson has something to do with that. Right?
She sure does.
She's the Energizer Bunny. If there's something to be involved in, Rose will help. And you mentioned Earl. So we put Earl, we put Rose, we put other councillors on these projects. And wow, that's why they're councillors, because they're seen at each of these events and they're a big part of making them really good events. And I saw Rose on Lighted Up Talbot out front of City Hall, Pumpkin Prowl, same thing, the Seljan Nights, Councillor Herbert's at all of these too. I want to thank the council for being an integral part of some of these events also.
And Lori Baldwin Sands has been out to
Lori was at all of those
events, I think. Yep. And so
I got a list of things. Sock hop. Tell me about the sock hop so we can get people to go to the sock hop.
Sunday 1 to 5 at the Senior Center. Package of new socks is admission. Receive 1 free door prize entry and additional collections of personal hygiene items, gently worn winter wear, toys, and non-perishable food items. Free entry to more prizes and dance prizes. So
a fun event that also helps our community and helps those in our community in most need. Incredible. Bring a pair of socks, win a door prize. I mean, dance to a little 50s or 60s music too. Be just fun. I'm a chair dancer. Did you see how I broke into that right away?
I do the chair dance.
Central Elgin Collegiate Institute's Best Buddies Hoop It Up event is November 28th. Now, I wish I knew what this was, but Hoop It Up tells me it might have something to do with basketball. But visit the website, bestbuddies.ca. They'll tell you all about it. Okay, so that's November 28th. Of course, the Winter Market is every Saturday at the Horton Market, 9 to 1. And talk about crowds. The Christmas market, I'm still getting phone calls about. Big Brothers, Big Sisters of St. Thomas Elgin is the big holiday 50-50 and grocery giveaway. Tickets are on sale to November 30th. If you don't have your tickets yet, they've been at many events selling these tickets, but if you don't yet, I suggest going to Big Brothers Big Sisters website and see if you can figure out how to get in on the 50-50 and grocery giveaway tickets. Wicked Witches of Oz is at Central United Church. I'm guessing it's a play or a musical, so I'm going to go with that guess. Right, November 28th to the 30th. So it's got more than one night. This one we had for the last number of years, but the annual Dalla Vincenza Holiday Food Drive happens Sunday, November 30th. That's coming up this week, so we want to talk about it this week. 1 to 5 at St. Anne's Center. It's a food drive of extraordinary proportions. So please help out by coming down to St. Anne's on November 30th, 1 to 5. 100 People Who Care is next Tuesday night. Grayden and I are trying to work out doing Mayor's Update and 100 People Who Care on the same night. We'll figure it out. We'll be able to talk. Downtown Santa, December 6th. We've shared with you before. If you want to pick a day to shop local in great stores downtown St. Thomas, December 6th might be your day. Santa happens to hit the street that day a couple times and sometimes helps you with your purchase. Robinson's Christmas Wonderland 2025. Now, this is a house that's at 64 Greenway Boulevard. Many people know the one I'm talking about because don't miss it from a Christmas lights point of view. But they start up December 1st, and they have 6 to 10 p.m. and 6 to 11 p.m. hours. And they even have like built-in music that you set your FM radio to a certain channel, 107.1, and the music for the lights is coming through your car at the same time. I've seen traffic jams on Greenway because of this. It is that beautiful of a display. Please get out and try and see it. There are other great decorated houses in our community. I've been out at night seeing some of them already, and there's more to come. Miracle on 34th Street, December 4th to 14th at the Princess Ave Playhouse. That's a 10-day run, so get your tickets and head on over to one of the best acoustic places to watch a play in our community at the Princess Ave Playhouse. And then we wanted to remind you to just check the city website for free skating days. We're getting more and more sponsors all the time to come help us sponsor public skates. And Grayden, just one more thing we've got to share. Before snow hits us again, we would like to sign up 50 or 60 more snow angels, people who will help people who want to stay in their own home but are troubled by the ability to go out and shovel snow out of their driveway or off their sidewalks. This isn't an immediate job we ask you to do. After a snowfall, you have a day or so to get to your helpful person as the snow angel to help clear their snow. So, and we have many families with moms and dads and kids that go out and also help people in their neighborhood. Please call the mayor's office here at City Hall. Jennifer will be happy to get your name down, try and place you with people in need in your neighborhood. So you're not driving all over the city to do this. And we can pair you up with one person who needs your help or 5 people who need your help. But once the snow starts to fall, there will be people who will need your help. So be a snow angel in St. Thomas.
Mm-hmm. And did you have a council meeting yesterday?
No, it's kind of our week off with this Monday coming to be the start of the budget deliberations. We hope in past years, it's been the start and the end of budget deliberations. This council has been very good at picking what needs to be done in our community, figuring out how we'll pay for what, at what point, how much we'll increase taxes or have to modify taxes to get it done. But December 1st, we have that deliberation at council, so a week from last night. And we hope the sooner we pass budget, it's a bit of a different format with strong mayor's powers, but I've asked for all the help of all the council and all the department heads to help us put the budget together and hopefully get it voted on in one night so we can get out and get some RFPs done and some really big projects we're going to have to do next year. This budget has a lot of public safety in it as we've grown as a community. Well, we've had to continue to improve what we have as a police service, including the special constables downtown and our fire service. But we expected this. This is part of the growth that we've been putting in place. And trust me, there's a lot of expense to new wastewater treatment plants and roads and pipes. So we've got a bunch of things in there. And we'll deliberate on it on Monday night and hopefully get it passed pretty quickly to keep St. Thomas on the right path for growth.
And as you've talked about before, if you're able to pass the budget right away, you can get those RFPs out, the request for proposals, and you can get contractors signed and on board to do the work before other communities, which gets you a better rate usually.
Clearly,
Saving St. Thomas more money.
In each of the past 8 years, we've saved hundreds of thousands of dollars by passing our budget early and not getting into. And if you notice, there's a lot more noise out there. There's many more communities now trying to pass their budget this early in late in November, early in December. I think they figured out what St. Thomas was doing. We may have to move it even earlier to get further ahead of some of them. Look, we don't mind what the region does. This is a regional growth that we're seeing right now. And we want all of the municipalities around us to be successful. For us to help them and them to help us.
Speaking of the regional municipalities, there was a question in about the intercommunity transit that we've been talking about. Do you have any further updates in terms of longevity for that or the plannings around that?
Well, we continue to have a with the Middlesex Connects group, the transit to London and to Dorchester and back. So we have we've established it. I certainly would not want that to ever go away, right? But the rest of the transportation master plans are being done around us, other communities around us, including the County of Elgin. And we hope that from some of their transportation master plans come an ask of St. Thomas. Can we work together for regional transportation in a bigger way? Yes, we can. We've learned we can work well together. And when it comes to all of us doing it instead of one of us doing it, it saves us a pile of money too.
And we had a question about why the Shriners aren't in the Christmas parade. I'm not sure I could answer that, but I would say to the person asking it, if you go directly to the Optimist Club or go to the Shriners, because I would assume it's maybe the Shriners, maybe it's the winter time isn't working out for them for some reason.
Some of our service clubs are growing and doing great things. Some of our service clubs are not, and some of us are getting older, even people who used to ride mini bikes in a parade. But I never noticed that till you brought it up. So thank you for doing it. If I see somebody I know in the Shriners, I'm going to ask them the question, right? Why aren't you part of our Santa Claus parade? It was always so exciting to see.
Yeah. I have a question from another viewer about the proposed increase in the police services budget and what that is.
Well, it's exactly that. It's an increase in the police service budget so that we get increased police service. Um,
Hmm.
as we grow to be a bigger community and we have more neighborhoods we have to patrol, and as you and I have said, we've added to the special constable group downtown, and this budget will also add to make it even greater coverage of the special constables. About 90 some percent of the budget of the city of St. Thomas is labor, is people, is salaries. And so when we want to make a difference, whether it's the fire service or the police service, it's mostly about hiring new people and putting more people into the services. So as we continue to grow as a community, we're going to need to continue to grow our protective services like police and fire, but
Hmm.
also our snowplow. We open up a whole new subdivision. We need works people who can work with that. As in each new subdivision, there's new parks, there's new trails.
Hmm.
That's more people we need in our Parks and Rec department. And so
Yep.
we just know that part of what the great success we've had in attracting really billions of dollars of industry to our community, which will help pay some of our bills when those billions of dollars of industry start making products and pay taxes to the city of St. Thomas. We got to prepare ahead of time for some of the stuff that means. And so
Hmm.
police services had been, I won't say, we've been very fiscally responsible over the last 8 years, and it hasn't increased at the rate it needed to. But when you go to fix or increase something like police services, it kind of comes in bumps. This was a year with a big bump in it. And I'm very pleased to say, as someone who sits also on the police service board, this was well needed in order to
Hmm.
continue to provide the great level of safety and security we have in St. Thomas.
Hmm.
And we'd like to maybe have the police chief on to talk about that too. And we will, whether it's
Yep.
budget night or shortly after, because it's a great story that we're doing here in St. Thomas and a great
Hmm.
group of men and women that belong to our St. Thomas Police Service.
Yeah.
I can't see your questions tonight, so I'm waiting. You have to answer them because we're two different places and Grayden's hogging all the questions.
We've got another question about any updates you can provide on the PowerCo EV plant.
The PowerCo.
The PowerCo plant. Any updates in terms of the construction going on there?
You maybe know more because you do those things with Mike. We're pouring a pile of concrete, and as long as the weather stays the way it is, we'll continue to pour a pile of concrete and continue to get a good base for next construction season at PowerCo. It is moving fast ahead,
Hmm.
and they continue to do more open houses and other meetings about hiring. And so
Hmm.
um, I feel very comfortable about the direction of PowerCo. And then to see the land already under construction at Vianode last week, as we
Hmm.
were doing the grand opening, I think we're going to see a pretty good race to the finish on both of those plants.
Yeah, and we had some questions coming in about the location of Vianode, which we can now share,
Yes.
which
Well,
is in the
it's in Yarmouth Yards. It's in our industrial
yep.
park. It's basically beside PowerCo, but you
Hmm.
think of the site as being a very big site, but lots of things going on.
Yep. All right. Let me see. I think that's all the questions we've got in.
Anybody got any other events that they've brought up to us there that we can share with the world? Or
No,
lots
but
of things going on.
there's so many events. I pulled up the Railway Seed Tourism event listing here, and if you pop onto their website, you can see
Yeah.
all the different things
No.
happening in St. Thomas.
You will be busy all weekend if you allow yourself to be. It is that busy out there for the next couple of weekends, really the next 3 or 4 as we lead up to Christmas. So there's something going on all the time.
Yeah, I did want to mention the Harbor Holidays, which is the
Yes.
rebranding of Dickens Days in Port Stanley, because the Dickens Day Parade is
Why
on
in the
November
Dickens would
28th.
they want to do that? I like Holly Harbor. That's also a pretty neat thing. It almost sounds like a Hallmark movie, which I've been watching couple a night, right?
Yeah, I know. This is your season for the Hallmark movies.
You know my sentimentality with Hallmark Christmas movies, but there's mayors you love and mayors you hate also in Hallmark Christmas movies. I'd love to play one day, but we laugh, Stephanie and I, as soon as the mayor gets introduced. Oh, we're not putting up the Christmas tree this year, or we're not doing something in our community. And so this mayor believes to say yes, not no. So it's not always just like Hallmark.
And it's exactly at Hallmark. And if you want a tip, like a little heads up, is the Red Show always happens on the same day, the Windjammer Inn. And this is where a bunch of artists get together and they paint paintings. They all have to have red in them. I've participated in the past. I haven't had time this year because we're moving, but I highly suggest go to the Windjammer, check out the art, see the parade, get some hot drinks, and you can enjoy it from the veranda there. It's absolutely perfect.
Let's hope we keep getting great parade weather like this, so you can wander through town at the same time as seeing a great parade. So great rebranding, Port Stanley. Excellent. I heard nothing but positive comments about the Elmer parade. That was last Saturday during the day, because many of the people who were in our parade at night had been in Elmer through the day.
And we've got a comment about a lot of activity going on at the St. Thomas Airport. And absolutely, the maintenance facilities there are bringing in a lot more aircraft to work on. So they're also hiring in a lot of people to work there on those airplanes as well, which is fantastic for our community.
And we also get a number of planes using our airport from our national defense and other airline uses, doing touch and go landings. Most of the pilots in the system get more seniority by having how many takeoffs and landing and how many hours of flight. And so when St. Thomas can sit there with an airport that can handle bigger airplanes, but I've even heard it at my house. Wait, that's a jet going over top. What's that doing? And certainly the Department of National Defense at their expense is using St. Thomas Airport often. And so it's great to see the type of activity we have out at what was a pretty sleepy little airport for a long number of years. And there is a lot of economic activity happening at our airport also. Yes.
Yep. No, it's absolutely incredible. And speaking of economic activity, have we talked about the investment that has come to St. Thomas since 2019 yet?
Well, I think we should, because the Premier brought it up and I didn't know what the number was. Since 2019, the international development investments in Ontario have been about $110 billion. These are large international corporations that we've attracted to Ontario. So of $110 billion, a little over $10 billion has come to St. Thomas. 10% of the international development dollars invested in Ontario since 2019, so just 6 years, 7 years, has been to St. Thomas. That is greater than any other community in Ontario, including Toronto, including Hamilton, including Ottawa, all of the other big cities. But St. Thomas has attracted greater than 10% of the international development. Of course, with PowerCo and Vianode, Element 5, and much of the other business that Minister Fedeli and the provincial government has gone out searching for our community, and help secure and help, with business loans, help get them to our community. We're pretty pleased. I want to point out that that's the year that this council started. It was 2 councils ago. We started looking for what we could do, how we could increase the job structure and the average pay in St. Thomas. And we've gone out with the community of the provincial government, the federal government, and by working together and not against them, we've been able to accomplish some pretty bold things in the city of St. Thomas. So I'm pretty proud of this council and the people on it who have done a great job of making this happen. And thank you, province and the federal government, for working with us.
Absolutely. And then there's also been investment in the existing manufacturing facilities here. So like the Mina North America Corporation announced a large addition to their facility, industry leading hydro stamping.
Prestran and format. There's just been so much growth in our community that we're proud of all of it. it's great that some of it's pretty big, and in 2 or 3 years we'll start paying some pretty big dividends. But that's not saying Format's present in our community, or Magnus Corporations, Masco's Corporation, Amino, the rest of them, their presence in our community helps us pay these bills each and every year, and employs a lot of great families in our community, and gives those people a greater success at a very happy Christmas this year. So let's continue to do that type of economic growth. I would love to say jobs for all, but at least jobs for those that want them. I mean, we're bringing them here as quickly as we can, and those other companies you mentioned are already here operating and always need new employees too. So please get out and make sure you're doing your best to find the employment that best suits you and your family. Because we'd love you to spend more money in St. Thomas at some of our commercial and retail stores. So keep doing it.
Yep. And Sean Dyke, the CEO of the Economic Development Corporation for St. Thomas, has just said, great news for our city and still going strong.
Oh, yeah. We're not. Hey, I know Sean's not stopping, and he pokes the mayor. So we're just not stopping. We've got a great Economic Development Corporation here with a number of members of council on, but a number of people from the private sector who also help us and Sean move big projects forward. So way to go. He's known to be the best in Ontario. We may now have to start saying the best in Canada.
I love it. We got a question about how many jobs is this creating for St. Thomas roughly? There's been some numbers thrown around. Someone's just with PowerCo, they're saying around 30,000, I believe.
Well, there's 3,000 minimum direct, plus it could be bigger. But then there's all of the other
that's the number I'm talking about. The ancillary jobs.
Same thing with Bionode. The original plan is going to have about a 300 person, but even the people involved in Bionode this week said up to 1,000. So great, plus the suppliers for that industry. We're seeing the expanding of the job force at Element 5 and the hiring they're doing. So look, you know what? You just said it and Sean's listening. Somebody put together hey, what have we brought in jobs since 2019? Not just foreign investment. That investment will mean something to us financially. But what will it mean to us from a total of jobs? First, primary, secondary, and tertiary jobs that follow after large industry come to your community. So, and these are regional. And I thank Sean for working in the city of St. Thomas. But we work hard with all of our other communities around us to make sure these regional wins are good for all of us.
Yeah. All right. So we've got a question, and you already answered this pretty much, but they're wondering, how has 10% of all foreign direct investment in Ontario since 2019 landed in St. Thomas, and how will residents of St. Thomas since before that time benefit? So it's kind of like a two-part question. So maybe answer, how did it get here? And then how will the people who were here?
Because we've had a council and an Economic Development Corporation president and a mayor who say yes. That's truly, I mean, they're out searching the world as to where they'll put their international development, their big plants. Volkswagen PowerCo were doing it. Bionode was doing it. We visited Norway even to see what they were doing. This is all positive stuff. But if you don't have a council, if you don't have a community that's ready for it, with land available and the ability to say yes when somebody asks, and then scramble real hard to put in all the water and wastewater and electricity and roads and stuff you need, that's how it gets here. Now, how does it aid someone who's been a St. Thomas resident their whole life or been here 35 years like me? Well, it allows us to plan our growth smartly. We know we have to increase jobs because the city's growing in population. So we need to be able to create jobs for them. But if we can grab jobs that are good paying jobs, where if you have a job at PowerCo, you can afford to buy a house in St. Thomas, or a job at Bionode, and those things happen. So it's affecting the next generation of the, say, 25,000 that were here 40 years ago and have grown now to, we think, almost 50,000 in population. So families got to stay here. Kids didn't have to move away and go live somewhere else. And in the future, it will be, even better that they don't have to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And they're scientific, they're good STEM type jobs that are coming to our community. And so we can, I said it in the speech at Vianode. I've had moms and grandma say to me, you know what you did? You've got generational growth in our community where our kids no longer have to leave St. Thomas to go do something else. That the jobs and the paycheck is available to them in St. Thomas. So let's gear our people up. Let's get ready for the jobs that we have coming, and we'll keep sharing with you what other new ones are coming.
Absolutely. And to talk too in terms of the arts as like an artist and how this helps that community is when you have people that have those jobs that pay well enough, then they have the additional income to support the arts as well. So I've seen as an artist, I could support myself fully as an artist now outside of the media sphere with the amount of jobs I can take on as an artist, paying at a proper rate. And that's because of this growth.
On the road. You used to have to take that on the road, or take less than you felt the value was of some of the great artwork. I can point at some behind me that Grayden Laing does. But it's not only just that. It's not only just the arts, but we can afford to do things in our community. It also brings in place 10,000 more people who can all be great volunteers in our community, can be great donators to projects like Tiny Hope or our Art Center or our Ignite Center or the members at the Senior Center. So it helps us increase that base amount of people in our community that can be involved in so many more things. And you and I are seeing it. I mean, granted, we still have a great number of great volunteers in our community. We see at everything. But we're starting to see that new person who says, I just came here from Milton and I want to be involved, or I just came here from Whitby and I want to be involved. We're now starting to see that. We're starting to see St. Thomas shrink from a volunteer base. Things like Fantasy of Lights went away because we couldn't keep the base up. Some of the other great events people talk about in our community, you want them back? Now grab your new neighbors and let's start talking about doing those types of things again.
And Sean commented on the types of the number of jobs, and he's saying it's like tens of thousands of jobs with future investments to follow, and not just in St. Thomas, but across the region. And I've heard that it'll roughly be like, a third of the people will be from St. Thomas who are working at these new jobs, a third will be from Elgin County, and about a third will be from London. Yeah,
it's about it. Those are great round numbers, and we know them to be true from the industries we currently have, and even from industries we used to have. So we can share with our neighbors. Watch the number of people who are driving in from London in the morning. Watch how many people are driving the other way to London from St. Thomas. We talked about some other difficulties in the automotive sector. I did another interview with the Free Press today about other communities around us. But we currently have a number of people who drive every day to Ingersoll to work. Now, if things aren't going perfectly there, then
I've heard that some people would be very happy if our things got done faster so that they could make that choice if they had to.
Agreed. And so you and I both know, fellows like Sean, myself, and the rest of the world are saying, we now have these sewed up. Let's get it done. You talked about construction at PowerCo. We talked about how fast Vianode wants to move quickly. Yeah, we don't want there to be a gap in this. We want it to be continuous employment for the people of St. Thomas and the region. And as I said, talking to Mayor Morgan from London in the last couple of weeks, talking about, the job sharing, where people can work, where people can live. And people get to make that choice. You want to live in a bigger city like London? Fine. We want to live in a great place like St. Thomas and go to work in London? That's also fine. We're pretty good both ways. We can do it, and we'll continue to offer it.
And it sounds like kind of the rough number being thrown around would be right now with the investments that people are committed to. Oh, and we didn't mention also, Vianode already has a contract with GM. So
there was another contract they signed today, it looked like. They don't have enough news to announce it for them today. But they now have a place to build in North America and are now out selling their wares.
Which is already sold.
Yeah, which is synthetic graphite. But And they know that's how quick they can get to the bigger building and the more employees. You know what, Grayden? I don't think we mentioned the Christmas tree spectacular.
No. Oh
Talk
my goodness.
about volunteers and talk about a great thing to see in our
incredible
community.
show.
Right? Everywhere I go, I hear people talking about they were there last night or they're there last weekend. And Will's been sharing with us how many thousands of people have been showing up. And now this week, we really start the Christmas season after the Santa Claus parade last week. So Santa's house is now up and open and photos and stuff.
And it's booked up. It's booked up. We tried to get in on December 6th. And we booked in for December 14th. So if you haven't booked in to see Santa,
get booking now if you want to see Santa at the Christmas Tree Spectacular. I don't think the Lego display is booked up, but boy, it'll be one of the most spectacular things you've ever seen. Way to go, Kyle. I need to point out that Cal Ralph did most of this work on the Lego stuff because he just loves playing with toys. But can't wait to get back there myself. I keep bragging to other people. Now I've got to take some people.
I know it's gonna be crazy. Okay, I'm sorry, Mayor. We're way over time.
Yeah, I know. We did it again.
This has been great.
Got to be an hour show. But we'll figure it out. I don't have Rogers anymore, so I can't watch what Rogers does to us when we go over an hour or over a half hour because they got to cut out really funny things the mayor says. Right? And I don't think that's appropriate. I think we better talk to Tim.
Yeah, the mayor's update uncut.
Wow.
If you want that, Facebook, YouTube.
You get better, right?
Yeah.
Stay indoors if you can over the next couple of days because it's wet and cold. And I'll just carry on. There's so many things going on in our community this time of year. I can't get out of town, so I might as well stay and have fun.
Well, when I get better, I look forward to seeing you at all the events. All right. Take care, everybody. Have a great night.
That's why he needs to stay indoors. Way to go, Grayden. We'll talk to you soon.
Cheers, everybody.